Bickley and Marotta. Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Former NBA GM Bobby Marks had a nifty turn of phrase on Thursday. He said the Suns' best trade asset is patience, and technically he is right. But what the standings will not tell you, and what you will not hear from the mouthpieces and the laptop lapdogs, is the damage done along the way. And that is because we expected to fall deeply in love with this basketball team, our first super team. Us against the world, just the way we like it in Phoenix, Arizona. But nearly halfway through the season, and we've had but a couple of good wins and one incredible fourth quarter comeback. And the longer the Valley cannot trust these Suns, the dimmer the fire becomes, the lamer the crowd sounds, the further we all drift from those glorious house parties back in 2021. And that's the real cost of an injury-prone team that perpetually needs more time. The energy around them, the energy they feel at Footprint Center, the energy Grayson Allen complained about the other day, it's just not going to be the same. Now, for proof, consider that fourth quarter Hail Mary against the Kings. Frank Vogel calls it a tremendous confidence boost to the team, but the best I can tell, it feels like most Valley fans missed it entirely, having checked out of the TV broadcast long before the fourth quarter. So yeah, technically, there's plenty of time, unless you want a fire-breathing basketball team fueled by the community it represents, and in that case, the time is right now without another minute to waste. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, I mean, it was just every small success throughout the NBA season is a confidence builder, no matter what your guys have done collectively in their careers. Each group has to feel those successes together. You know this roster of players, our coaching staff, all of us working together for the first time. A big success like that, like a 22-point fourth quarter comeback, it was a huge confidence boost for what we can do. And but I think it just stacks on top of what we've done over the last few weeks. We feel really good about the direction our team is going, and that just stacks on top of it.
That's Frank Vogel, head coach of the Suns, talking yesterday at practice about what a comeback win, like what the Suns were able to pull off against Sacramento on Tuesday night, what that can do for the team. That remains to be seen. We do know this. Tonight, this is the midway point. Game 41 of an 82-game schedule. Patience has been the mantra, especially now that the Suns are, winning some games. They are 8-4 since Christmas, 7-3 in their last 10 games. So they're kind of figuring things out. Since Bradley Beal's been in the lineup, they've turned into a winning basketball team. But the mantra is still going to patience. And I referenced this piece that Brian Windhorst put together on ESPN.com, and the last line of the article is a quote from Frank Vogel that says, "I trust these guys. We have a roster that can win." But you heard him talk about it there. Coaching for the first time together. Players still learning each other. Tonight, I think, is the official, let's wash our hands of that mentality. Regardless.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Every team has had bumps in the road to overcome and rocky patches and injuries to deal with. The Suns are not unique in that.
No.
But, you can live on that for about half a season, in my opinion. And here we are, half a season.
And I do think that you can look at the standings and say, okay, for all the ups and downs, the Suns are not in bad position. And that is accurate. There is no doubt about that. I think the Suns are in a real good position to be a 1-6 seed, and that is really all I want out of this regular season. Just stay out of that play-in fiasco. Don't expose yourself to any of that. And then I'll take my chances with this basketball team. But I do think that the idea of getting this team in collaboration with a fan base that is behind not only has its back, but is providing incredible fuel every single time they take the basketball court. And there's some teams in the NBA that have that right now. The Suns once did have that. They do not have it now. I think we all know it. Those who have been to multiple games this year know it. Those who've been to every games like you know it. Grayson Allen even commented on it the other day. So the sooner the Suns get into a better lane and start looking like a dominant team that doesn't need dramatic desperation fourth quarter comebacks, the better it's going to be for everybody. Not just for us, but for them. Because then they're going to get the army behind them that can enrich and empower a basketball team.
You mentioned Bobby Marks, former front office guy in the NBA, now their front office insider for ESPN. He was on with Wolf and Luke yesterday, and they posed the question to him from his viewpoint. And one thing we can say about Bobby, because he's a frequent guest on this radio show, this radio station, he tells it like he sees it. He's not pandering to any particular fan base, but he was asked, hey, do you think the Suns do they look like a team that's turning the corner?
They're like Milwaukee. Milwaukee could be 29-11 but lose by 50 on ESPN. They'd be like, oh, fire the coach. This team stinks. I'm like, wait, they are 29-11 here. I've said all along, and I'll continue preaching it, like the best trade asset that Phoenix has is patience. Like, just let this evolve and see where it goes, because there's no turning back. It's not like, oh, we're going to trade Bradley at the deadline and KD and we're going to redo it and everything. Like, no, like, you've got to see this through here. And they have, listen, the game against Sacramento, they were dead in the water and it was a terrific comeback, but I don't think you want to be putting yourself in that position there. But, when you win at 8 out of 11, what you want to do now is get some separation, get out from the group of playing teams, now get into that top six, which I think you definitely can do. They have played better basketball, certainly since that Christmas Day game, which was not pretty. So I am expecting things to get better. I don't think I would be shocked if we're taking like 3 steps back now.
Yeah, at the midway point where we are today, that play-in group is Sacramento, Phoenix, Utah, and the Lakers. But everybody's so bunched up.
Yeah, and I would say the difference in what Bobby Marks is saying. If the way I hear it, Bobby Marks is not saying, "Oh, relax, Phoenix. You're just like the Bucks. Don't overreact. This team just needs patience." What he's saying is, you have no choice but to give this team patience. There's no putting this back in the bottle. You have no real significant trade options available to you. You might be able to go get a guy that suits what you think is a hole in your program, but at the same time, the guts of a championship team, you either got it, you don't. And that's what I think, that's the perspective of the patience word. But again, and like I said, though, I do think that the way this team is now sort of striking people in the Valley, you can say, oh, you want that the team, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying people out there, you can say, oh, you want the team is 8-3, 7-3. They don't feel like a basketball team getting better at that kind of rapid pace. Mm-hmm. They just don't. And had they not had that fourth quarter appearance or comeback against the Kings, we wouldn't be citing those numbers. So and this is I'm still somebody who believes that this thing might work. But at the same time, I think you got to look this in the face and kind of see what it really is and call it what it really is.
Yeah. It's been a weird path to get here, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. And I think everybody would agree on that, regardless of what your belief level is in the Suns.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.